Did Credit Mobiler scan the Union Pacific?
Credit Mobiler charged the Union Pacific from beyond the value of work done, and money flowed from the federal government through the Union Pacific railroads to the shareholders of the Central Credit Mobilers.
How was the spoils system reformed?
Act was signed and jobs were given by merit.
How did Cleveland manage to anger
Cleveland
people?
excited the farmers by repealing the Silverman Purchase Act.
What were immigrants fleeing from in the late 1800s?
Immigrants are fleeing from the car factories, shortage of land and jobs, increasing taxes, and families.
What did most immigrants travel in?
Immigrants travel in steerage, which is a large open area beneath the ship's deck.
How many immigrants arrived between 1865 and 1890?
It's estimated about 10 million arrived between 1865 and 1890.
Those who were found to have contagious diseases such as tuberculosis were put where?
In a quarantine, a time of isolation to prevent spread of disease.
Did cities begin to grow between 1865 and 1900?
Cities began to grow by transportation and new jobs. In large cities as New York City, subways were built and new companies were forming.
How did living conditions in cities change?
The living conditions in cities changed by more apartments being built, also with windows due to fires.
Was there any results in the city growth?
Cities in the U.S. grew by 15 million people, and also radical changes lived in the city's life with noises, traffic, and slums.
What new developments helped cities grow?
A number of newcomers. Also, urban areas became scattered with buildings as like the bank, financial office, law firms, and government offices.
How did different movements help the needy?
Americans should fight poverty and improve unwholesome social conditions in cities.
What was the social gospel movement?
The movement was a movement developed with the religious institutions and to apply the gospel teachings of Jesus directly to society.
Who were the founders of the settlement house?
The two women that were the founders were Jane Addams and Ellen Gates.
What was the temperance movement?
The temperance movement was an organization campaign to estimate alcohol consumption.
How was the spoils system reformed?
Why did public schools expand during the 1800s?
Public schools expanded because Americans realized that democratic society functioned best when citizens could read and write. It was necessary first step towards economic social success.
Why were some adults going to school with many children?
Many adults were going to school at the time were probably because they were immigrants who wanted to learn English.
Why did many immigrants send their children to school?
Many immigrants sent their children to school because they wanted them to be successful American citizens.
The University of Wisconsin was co-educational, however, it did not treat women equal. What is the example of that?
Example of the university not treating women the same was that the woman had to stand back until all men were seated.
Why was baseball the favored sport, the most favored sport?
Baseball was the most favored sport because Americans loved the speed, daring, and split-second timing of the game.
What was the yellow journalism?
The yellow journalism was a special kind of yellow ink used in popular comic strips.
Kind of performance and recreation. Did many Americans join at the turn of the century?
Many kinds of performances attracted audiences at this time. They ranged from live theater to a new medium, movies.
What were people reading from information and entertainment?
People started to read magazines that contained helpful articles, advertising, and fiction.
What were some examples of the segregation in the late 18th
Some
century?
examples of segregation was different drinking fountains and having to sit at the back of the bus.
What effects do you think this separation had on both blacks and whites?
I think that the effects of the separation was that the white race thought they were still better than the African Americans, like nothing has changed since slavery.
Who was Booker T. Washington?
Booker T. Washington founded the National Negro Business League in the 1900s.
Branches did the Negro Business League by
The
1907.
Negro Business League had 320 branches.
What new machine helped women clean in their daily life?
The washing machine helped cut down the full day of doing laundry for women.
In these new department stores, what did they come
The
carry?
department offered a variety of items in one category: men's shoes or furniture.
Free service gave farm families access to big cities'
Free
goods.
service that gave big families goods was mail order catalogs.
New jobs of immigrants or African Americans.
Working from dusk till dawn, these women cooked, cleaned, washed, ironed, and cared for children.